journalists are a crucial asset to societal development. They go through thick and thin to be able to serve us with the information we need. You know, there are lots of information all over the place, all over the internet, but I don't know how they do this magic. They sieve and make sure we are fed with the information we need. Their job may seem trivial or normal to you, but hey, that's why I get to sit with Job K Laboja to talk to us about a day in the life of a journalist. Before you get to hear from him, I'd like to appreciate the kind courtesy of Douglas Jewelry and Dawa Dawa Coffee Shop. Do stay with me. I'll be back after this short break. Thank you so much for staying with me. As I said earlier, I'm here with Job K Laboja. He's a student journalist who works with TV3. And we'll be talking about a day in the life of a journalist. Laboja, good to have you. How are you doing? I know how busy you are, but you still made time for me. Thank you so much. My first question is, Umaru Sanda defines journalism as a passion-driven profession with money as a reward. How would you define journalism? What's journalism?
Journalism, the basic definition that we all know is where somebody gathers information and make sure that information is enough and is balanced and being distributed to the rest of the public. So that's my basic definition of it, and that's where I draw my definition from.
Yeah, that's good. So it kind of correlates with what Marisanda said.
Exactly.
Okay, so comparing today's journalism now, Ghana now, to previously how journalism was, how do you see Ghana's journalism today?
Based on my research and the little knowledge I've gained from studying journalism in GIG, I can say that journalism in Ghana has been great. It has grown from decades. You can see that there's been improvement in journalism in Ghana since the days of Kwame Nkrumah. If you look at the practice of journalism then, where we had censorship and journalists could not express themselves, which focus on their work and all that. Now we've gone through stages where we are here today. And even bloggers, they call themselves journalists and they publish whatever they want.
We'll come there.
Publish whatever they want. Nobody complains. It's like the freedom is there, and you could also see the impact of journalism on the Ghanaian society. There's been changes as a result of the works of journalists. Yeah.
You see, today we get up and we see actors. A lot of people say they are journalists. They call themselves journalists. Is it that the training has been simplified or what?
I can't say it has been simplified, but I can say that there's access to the study of journalism. Unlike the law school, where even we have people complaining now in this about some students failing and not getting admission into the Ghana Law School, experts attributing it to lack of space and all that. Unlike that one, journalism now today, if you want to study journalism, you can even be in Kumasi, wherever you want to be, and study it. So there's access to study of journalism in our country. So I won't be surprised if an actor gets up today and tells me that he or she is a journalist, because we know we have distance learning and all that. So while the person is acting, I don't know if the person might have gone through some sort of online training, and we know in journalism it's allowed to undertake distance learning. Even though in Ghana, some of the journalism schools that we know, like GIG and all that, I haven't really seen distance. I don't know if we do distance learning. I don't know. But I know on international level, you can have access to courses where you train to become a journalist. But in all, bloggers, they are different. Yeah, bloggers they call them. I don't think bloggers they call themselves journalists. No, they are not journalists, and they know it. That's why a blogger calls himself I'm a blogger. But their work is kind of similar to what the journalist does. Okay, so I think bloggers are just bloggers, and they know themselves. So I don't think the likes of Obichi, Zion Felix, they know themselves. They accept that they are bloggers. So, but they do the works of a journalist. You understand? So for me in Ghana, I don't think it has been simplified. Yeah, basically.
As you said, bloggers know themselves as bloggers. They call themselves like that. Okay, so like what I'm doing, show hosting, would you say that's a practice of journalism?
Well. I can agree with you, but journalism is about broadcasting. So you need to get somebody to broadcast whatever information a journalist has provided. And as part of the duties of the journalist is to find a way to send out the information that you gathered. So what we are doing is one aspect of journalism, broadcasting, one aspect of journalism. And we also know anybody can broadcast, provided you are taking through the basic.
You know, when we talk about the functions of a journalist, we all know is to educate. The journalist educate, gives inform the public, or gives the public something new, what's happening around the world. Does it go beyond that? Does the function go beyond that?
Absolutely. The functions of a journalist go beyond just educating. If you inform, if you educate, and you don't get any change, you haven't done anything.
Okay.
So that's one of the things I've learned over the years. I think journalists they have to be more position on it. Whatever story a journalist is publishing, it must also change. If it doesn't change someone's life or in society, then you are not doing anything. Okay, so I think that journalists should go beyond just educating, entertaining, and then informing. If these three functions does not cause change, then the work as a journalist is questionable.
Okay, so now we are starting. We are about to talk about the topic. Can you take us through, from bed, when you wake up from bed to the time you go back to bed? What goes on between these two? So from the time you wake up to the time you retire to bed, what goes on?
This is an interesting question. I'm one of the few that has had an opportunity to live with journalists before I then I didn't understand the things. Why go out and not come home early? You come and then it's like you are mad at everybody. If you do something for the person is mad and all that. But since I started school and started practicing journalism, I realized that the journalist day is packed. You wake up, the first thing you do, you pick your phone to check what is going on the net, what is going on social media, and then you try to maybe as you are going out, you are required to bring a story sometimes. Editorial meetings, you can't go and then be sitting down like that. You need to contribute. And if an issue comes up, it's a national issue, you need to also say something. You must know something, you must contribute. Okay. So all these things come together to make a journalist a very busy one. So you have to make sure you get the newspapers, the many newspapers to look at what is going on and all that. Sometimes they cover things that other media will not. Yes. So some of these things Yeah.
Okay, so as a journalist, what do you rely on for information? You know, you mentioned that you have to read newspapers and all that. Does that mean you rely on the newspapers to be able to get information? You know, when it comes to broadcast, you rely on the print to get information for the public as well.
Okay.
Is that the only?
So the newspapers is one of them.
Okay.
And then online. You know, nowadays sometimes Facebook, somebody is going through something is happening somewhere, and then somebody puts it on Facebook. So as a journalist, you chance on this thing, and then you consider its impact on society. If it's newsworthy, you follow up on it. Okay, so that is another way of getting it. But sometimes, as you drive through town, there are things that you observe. Maybe certain things are not right, things are not right. So you go there, you look at what is there, and then you get your news. Yeah, sometimes you are there, somebody to call you, this is happening here. You need to rush to find out what is happening. If it is newsworthy, it's another way of getting our news as broadcasters.
So Laboja, you're a journalist. You wake up in the morning. You know, you've read online portals. You've had some information, a bit about what's happening around. How do you know, when I consider a doctor wakes up in the morning, goes to the hospital and attends to patients. Now you're a journalist. You have to feed the information, the public with information every day on a daily basis. Wake up. How? You have to get information before you go to the newsroom, okay? You get it. You know, you've read, people put it online, you've read it, but how do you get your own and then feed the public with it?
Okay, so we have something like this. It's maybe a story that is developed. So you covered a story some time ago, and always you have to make sure that you keep checking there to see whether there is any development from that angle. It's another way of getting our stories. And mind you, journalists, you are not alone. You are not working alone. Okay, you are working with a team. So you can't. China is big. China is big. The world is big. You can't be everywhere all the time. But with the help of your friends, editors, editorial board, you are able to assign to cover a story. And sometimes you even get to the office and then you are assigned to something that you have no knowledge about. That is where it comes. That is what brings us. What's a good reporter should be? For me, a good reporter should be a good researcher. So you go to the office and then they assign you to this story. You probably have no idea about it. And you are assigned to go and cover it. That's where research comes in. Your ability to research and understand the issue will help you to tell the story better.
Okay, so what's the time frame when it comes to that? What time are you supposed to get the information? What time are you supposed to present it to the editor? Yeah, to work on it fast so that they can publish.
Okay, that's right. So you see, there's good time frame to it. So as a journalist, you have to work with the you get to the office. Let me use this scenario. You get to the office. Let me say 8:30. Whilst the editorial meeting is ongoing, like editorial activities, and then just by 9 o'clock, they send the assignment flyer on our page. Okay, Laboja, you are going to Alliance Française. The France ambassador is having this event. You have no idea about it. So quickly, sometimes with the help of your phone, you read a few articles about this particular event or the personalities involved. And this is the case where you get there, you have to conduct interview. So you have to know the personalities that are coming there. And then you do research about them. What is the latest news about this? Okay, and how did they cover it? Is it something that they want to respond to? So you go there, you already have interview questions. If you are able to,
You are giving interview questions, or you generate them yourself?
you generate them.
Wow.
So when you are assigned, you don't. Nobody needs to give you a question to go and ask. You look at the issues around the whole thing, being it the events, the personalities involved. There are recent comments about national issues, and you are able to ask me questions too. But there are some too that are about, let me say, it's a national issue, it involves figures. That one you need to sit and plan, get your facts right. You understand? Before you go out to have such knowledge.
You know, I want to know this. There might be someone out there who will say, I want to be a journalist, but I don't want to be outside and fish for news. I want to be a news reader. Is that possible? Or you have to write through a particular round before you get to the news reading point?
As I know and as I've been informed, so as I know about what the person again.
Yeah, are you supposed to go through a particular
Okay,
round?
all right. As I know, you're supposed to go through some processes before you even become a presenter. Yes, that's what I'm doing. But some people are fortunate. Probably you are good, you have the qualities of a presenter, and then you are just put on right away. Learn the rest. So imagine as a presenter, you don't know how are you going to cooperate with your producer? Okay, how would you feel? How would you understand what your producer is going through at the background? So as a presenter, for me, I've been told that you need to become a reporter. You need to produce before you can even go ahead as a presenter. With that, when you are reading a story and there are problems, you know how to quickly adjust it and get it right. You won't fumble. And if you have been a producer too before, you also know how maybe you are trying to raise somebody online on phone, and the person feels you. As a presenter, what are you going to do? You understand? But if you have been a producer before, you know that this is what is happening. You can bring in your knowledge to continue with the show.
These are really relevant points that we're creating, but we're going to go for a quick commercial break, and when we are back, we're going to find out if he's ever experienced the physical attack while on field. You stay with me, I'll be back shortly. Thank you so much for staying with me. I'm still here with Job K Laboja, and we are having a conversation on a day in the life of a journalist. Okay, so before, generally I watched one video of Umar Sanda. He went somewhere to report and people began throwing stones at him. Have you ever experienced that before?
Well, yes, it's something that every journalist should expect when you are out there.
How do you go?
And for me, nothing like that has happened to me before, but there's been a series of intimidations. Sometimes you are taking your shots. let me use this. You are taking your shot and somebody approaches you thinking that you are shooting them and all that. So they try to engage. But sometimes it's about how you react. Yeah, how you react to determine whether the person will continue to you. And I mean, the way I have a way of coming people down.
You know, my team had an experience with the indigenous of Chopo. They went there and they were going to cover an event, okay, and they got robbed. How is the security as far as this is concerned? This kind of incident. How is your security?
Okay, getting robbed. I don't know whether it was an attack. They attacked you to pick your stuff.
No, they
or
weren't
left it
attacked.
somewhere.
No, they were actually called and asked to give their phones to
Wow.
them. Yeah, in a cool way. No, so if they hadn't given it out, I think they would have been punished.
So, security is something that no one should take for granted. Even not only journalists. Every security is something that I think nobody wants to take for granted. So when you are going somewhere, you must consider all these things. It's an advice I'll give to journalists, young journalists like myself. When you are going somewhere, you safety first. You have to know the terrain where you are going to. What are some of the risks? How can I prevent these things from happening? And so I think, as for attacks and robbing, like people want to always take advantage of others. So you have to be on point. Yeah, you have to be on point as a journalist. You don't take chances when it comes to security. When a place is not safe for you, don't go. Unless maybe the unexpected one. You are there, that one happens to everybody. Not only journalists.
So before we end, what are some of the challenges you face as journalists in the newsroom or outside? What are some of the challenges?
As for the challenge,
Can you name some?
yeah, sometimes looking at an interview with somebody, who then the person thinks it, and a whole lot. There are risks. Meeting somebody you don't even know, somebody who is knowledgeable than you are going to interview that person. It happened to me. I was sent to ambush one professor. I think he's with the Ghana NIA or something. NIA. I think it's you. I don't remember the name exactly. So this man I was sent was on another radio. I was sent to where an interview. Because we were trying to get him. I got there, the man was told that TV3 is here to interview me. So I wanted to run out, came out, and immediately was rushing into his car. I had to force him, approach him, I was like, then I started throwing up questions like any question at all. I didn't even know what I was talking about. And I said something that he thought he should respond to me because it didn't make sense that I had to ask that question. So he wanted to intimidate me. You understand? Yes. So then I was like really? You asked me this question? I was like, thank you for telling me. I just needed your attention. And this is what I want to do. Can we I need to get the job done. That's science. Give that to me. Give me the chance. So he went to jail, sat down. And it was nice. So this has been the challenge. Imagine I didn't know what I would be there and the entire time. So many challenges, including security as you spoke about, sometimes traveling, work long hours, the stress when you are about to go on air, the stress when you are asked to make mistakes, like there are so many challenges when you are going into the job, you must be prepared to face it.
Thank you so much. For your final words, would you encourage, based on the wages you get as a journalist, would you encourage your children or someone, a friend, to pursue this profession?
Okay, so journalism, as they say, is a passion.
Okay.
If you don't have passion for it, why do you do it?
The money is
the money is important, but whatever you are passionate about brings you money. So I don't believe in journalism not paying. You understand? It's about how you carry yourself. How do you develop yourself? Do you develop yourself to receive big money in future, or you develop yourself to live on the small tips that people will be giving you. So some people, they start journalism and then they are happy with the little money that they give to them. So they will go and do the proper stories that will bring them money. The proper stories that will bring them awards. And they will be chasing events and event organizers for this petty money. And the only thing that can sell you as a journalist is doing special reports that brings change to society. And whoever is solving solutions in society, you are rewarded in a way. So I don't believe in the journalism. So if you are a young person and you think journalism is what you want to do, you must first of all know that there are challenges that you face. Sometimes you'll be hungry. It doesn't mean that you should abandon the real work and go and be chasing somebody. You understand? Stick to your values. Do the job. And at the right time, you'll be rewarded.
Stick to your values, do the job, and at the right time you'll be rewarded. As a journalist, you have to be solution oriented. It's not just about feeding the populace with information. Thank you so much for coming. And before you go, my sponsor, like Joey, has something for you. So I appreciate you for coming at this time. You can open it and see it's the wristwatch.
Woo! This is nice. This is so beautiful, you know. Oh, I appreciate this.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making time for us.
And I agree that
I'm humble. Thank you so much. And thank you too for making time to watch. This is Time with Samuel. Youth development is my priority. See you next week. Bye.